All right, everyone, going to be jumping into the Monday Night Football props that we have. So let's go ahead and get in. Starting with the slate preview, it is going to be a pretty fun game, I would say. We got the Seahawks versus the Eagles, a 3-point spread. Looking at the over-under, it is a 45-point over and under. That kind of continues the theme of the early games from Sunday were kind of boring, and then every other game that we had in terms of scoring was all pretty high scoring. Looking at the injury report, it is expected that Geno Smith sits. That being said, we didn't see Drew Lock really play terribly. All in all, I don't think that's going to hurt or help the offensive weapons too much. Granted, do we really expect Drew Lock to continue to play as good as he did with the information that we have at hand? I mean, maybe it is a good matchup with the Eagles. There is that potential, I would say. So all in all, I don't think it's a lost cause. Looking at the Eagles, Jalen Hurts actually questionable with the illness. You would expect him to play through it. He's actually not with the team, at least at the start of the day. At least I'm recording this. They've been keeping it away so he doesn't get anyone else sick, but they got Dallas Goedert back. Should be good to go in that sense. Eagles defense is still pretty banged up though. So all in all, the Seahawks should be able to throw the football on them. Now to me, an interesting point about really the Eagles is going to be the snap counts for the running backs, because Swift, he had been playing about 60% of the snaps or so. The last couple of weeks, 42 and 51. That being said, those were games in which they kind of got, let's just say, beat up. And so we saw some of Kenneth Gainwell, and we have seen a little tiny bit of Boston Scott. Seemingly, and it's kind of shocking to me, but if they're playing from behind, which they could, I don't think so, but they could, then we're going to see more of Kenneth Gainwell. That being said, Swift in a game script where I personally think they're going to be playing with the lead, then I like them. I like Swift a little bit more. Interesting to note that Quez Watkins was back, played about 50% of the snaps, good to go. I do think Dallas Goedert being back did play a role in the fact that he only got 45% of the snaps. Zacchaeus, he's going to work in there as well. But all in all, I feel like we know exactly how this offense is going to function, given whichever game script we get. Now, looking at Seattle, again, more of the same. We have seen JSN play a little bit more. Noah Fant has been playing a little bit more, but also getting more snaps. Kenneth Walker played in 58% of the snaps. That's something I hope goes up in this game as well, because I don't know. I haven't really seen it with Zach Charbonnet too much. I think Kenneth Walker is the more dynamic playmaker. I think, just having him on the field opens up the playbook a little bit. So again, guys, I want to start off with calling out this update. I did this on the Sunday Night Football props video. On the specific NFL tab for PrizePicks, I have included in bet type, which is going to include standard, goblin, or demon props. All in all, you really don't want to touch the demon or goblin props because the payouts are just terrible compared to a normal sports book. Again, I mean, mathematically, I think you guys know the edge by now. We place a prop that has a 54% likelihood or better to hit. We are gaining an edge on PrizePicks or Underdog. That is exactly why they are doing the goblin and demon props, because they want you to place those bets because they know people will, and it's not going to be a long-term solution. So looking at the best prop bets that we have right now for this game, we can see right now really not a lot of good EV bets, actually zero. So it's going to be tough to break it down. And this is on PrizePicks. I actually want to go ahead and start out with Underdog. Typically they give us a little bit more prop, and actually they are, but still not getting a big edge. So as it sits right now, it's going to be more difficult to break it down, in all honesty, but we'll go through it, give it an honest effort. So let's go ahead and start out with the Seahawks. And so right now, we're just not getting that many props for Seattle in general on both sides. It's going to be very difficult to kind of break it down for you guys because of that. And really, the prop bets that we are getting, I think, are all fine. Like, I honestly don't mind the idea of just kind of betting all the overs for the Seahawks players that we're getting in terms of receiving yards right now, or at least 2 out of the, I guess I should say 3 out of the 4. Kenneth Walker, we probably don't need to do, although I think he's going to be involved in the passing game, so we'll touch on that. DK Metcalf, really tough to gauge. He's had a bunch of duds and like 2 blow-up games. I guess like 3 blow-up games. A little bit touchdown dependent. Going against the Eagles, that's more intriguing. I will say, like, someone like Tyler Lockett, I feel like is going to have a big game, a good game. And then also JSN playing that many snaps, they have been trying to manufacture touches to him as well. I think that both Tyler Lockett and JSN are probably 2 of the players that are most likely to have a good game. But I really hate the prop lines that we are getting. Now, maybe Kenneth Walker, like receiving yards, I probably like that one the most. That's probably going to be the one I go in on the most. And so I'm fine betting higher. Just I'm betting on him getting more snaps, and I'm betting on him getting used in the past. That to me is how you use him efficiently. The worry is that has not been the norm. And that's the reason why we are getting such a low line. Again, we're not getting that many good props for Seattle. And that's partially due to the fact that we don't know which quarterback for sure it's going to. Once we start getting some receptions props, I'm okay with it. I will say Noah Fant has been much more involved in the passing offense lately. And so the 21.5 6.5 receiving yards, I am okay with betting the over with as well. That's really it for the Seahawks as it sits right now. So let's go ahead and take a peek at the other side of this. Let's take a peek at the Eagles. And so taking a peek at the Eagles, again, we're not getting that many good EV bets really at all. Swift rush attempts really depends on the game flow. Like that under would be heavily likely to hit if they are playing from behind again, which could happen because the snaps are going to be lower. Pass completions for Jalen Hurts, I don't know if I exactly agree with that, but there is some slight correlation there with AJ Brown getting under 6.5 receptions as well. All in all, to me, the props that we are currently getting for the Eagles, at least on PrizePicks, seems to be a little bit too low. We'll take a peek at Underdog, and I would say maybe a little bit better on Underdog slightly, but we can see they're pushing this line down for Dallas Goedert to 4.5 to 4 because, well, he's highly likely to get the under 4.5 reception, and I don't know if I agree with it. That's kind of my issue. Is Dallas Goedert, he gets a pretty decent matchup now. It has been a while since he has gone over. Granted, he was injured for a lot of those weeks. A little bit of game flow dependent. Again, he has a great chance to get forward. Just, is he going to get over that? That's the biggest issue. And then, yeah, from there, for the Eagles props that we are currently getting, I don't exactly love them. I could see AJ Brown for under 6.5 receptions, but then are we really going with any prop bets for Devonta Smith? Probably not. In a high scoring game, I don't mind the idea of him to score a touchdown to get that 1.5x, but that is definitely a little bit too thin. And that's the issue here, is that all the prop bets that we're really getting in this game right now all feel a little bit too thin. I will say another one that I think is okay given the potential game script where it's a higher scoring game. Maybe the Seahawks are playing from behind. They might not want to settle for field goals, so thus maybe under 1.5 field goals made could be a good one. Again, I don't love this. So guys, I don't want to give out a bet of the day just yet. You know, tomorrow I'm hoping we get some better props that we can go in on. And tomorrow I will be touching on that during the NBA video that I typically do in the morning. So if you guys want a bet slip for the day, be on the lookout for it tomorrow. Again, I just don't want to force any prop bets. I care about your guys' bankroll, so I don't want to just toss out a bet just to toss out a bet. That's what I'm supposed to do at the end of the video. I don't want to do that right now. So that's going to be all for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. Please give a like and subscribe. I know I didn't break down too much in this game. Again, it's just kind of thin right now. We'll see how it goes. Again, I think Seahawks are going to be playing from behind a little bit more. Eagles, I think, are going to be playing with the lead. It seems like a bounce back spot for them. Thank you guys for watching. Let's have a good slate. And as always, let's keep cashing.